From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Take a seat. We're glad you're here. I'm Betsy Peterson, the director of the American Folklife Center here at the Library of Congress, and on behalf of all of the staff, I want to welcome you today to the latest offering in our Homegrown Concert Series. The Homegrown Concert Series is an opportunity for the American Folklife Center to present the very best of traditional music, dance, narrative, working with a whole range of folk arts coordinators, ethnomusicologists, other cultural specialists throughout the United States to bring artists here to this stage so you all can hear and we all can benefit. This concert today will be webcast, so if you all have any electronic devices turned on, please turn them off. The webcast allows us to archive the material in the American Folklife Center archive. It also enables us to make it available to broader audiences throughout the world and in the future. So with that said, again, turn off any electronic devices. Today's performance features Newpoli, which is a group based in Boston, performing folk songs and dance music from southern Italy, mainly from the regions of Campania and Puglia. They integrate a wide variety of styles, such as Tarantella-Pizzica, Tammuriata, Villanella, and the Neapolitan Canzone, encompassing music from the Middle Ages to the 19th century. Now, because Italian folk music, with the exception of a small number of Neapolitan folk songs, is often not very familiar to many people and has not received much global attention, Newpoli concerts are often the first exposure that audiences have to these traditions. And you will find that as the concert goes on, the members of the group will be talking a little bit about what you're hearing and tell you a little bit more about it. Most of the members of Newpoli are graduates of Berklee College of Music and the New England Conservatory and are proficient, as you can see and will see throughout the concert, that they are proficient in a wide range of instruments, including bagpipes, flutes, drums, accordions, viols, and lutes. So without further ado, please welcome Newpoli.
Mamma ci sono i posti per te. E sul mare galleggia.
nostalgia che ammalati, sa capami a popolati, sta nostalgia che ammalati, quando poi torna che ipocrisi, sta nostalgia che ammalati, quando poi torna che ipocrisi, sta nostalgia che ammalati, quando poi torna che ipocrisi, sta nostalgia che ammalati, sa capami a popolati, sta nostalgia che ammalati, quando poi torna che
you so much,
Thank
everyone.
you.
So now we are going to play a traditional tarantella from a region called Basilicata in the south of Italy. Beautiful region. If you haven't been there, you should go. Lots of beautiful culture and food. And this particular one is from a village called Tricarico. This comes from a field recording done in the 1952 by Ernesto De Martino and Diego Carpitella. And they went around in this region and collected a lot of good music that otherwise would have been lost. So this is Wewali, but we actually need your help for this one. So I will teach you a little pattern that you will clap with your hands and you will help us going through the whole song. Okay? So the pattern is very simple, okay? Thank you so much. Wei Wei Li, by the way, means hey there. So it's sort of it's saying hello, but in a nice informal way. Wei Wei Li.
The next tune, it's Pizzica from southern Italy. Actually, all the music we are performing tonight is either from southern Italy or is inspired by southern Italian folk music. The next one is a tarantella, specifically is a pizzica, which is a tarantella from the area of the Salento, which is the hill of Italy, in Puglia. And this music was originally used to heal people affected by a disease widely studied in the 50s by Ernesto De Martino, and it's called tarantismo. So people that were affected by this disease were believed to be bitten by a spider, non-poisonous spider, that was released the poison inside their body, called tarantella. This spider was called tarantella. It's called tarantella. And in order for them to heal, they had to frantically dance to the sound and the melodies of the tarantellas in order for them to sweat all the poison out of their body and eventually get healed.
There are a variety of lyrics that go to the Pizzica. This one is a particularly light-hearted set of lyrics. It's a little bit of a wooing song. It's a gentleman trying to pick up a beautiful lady that he's just met, and he makes all these extravagant promises to her that he's going to collect the most beautiful flowers that anyone's ever seen for her, that he's going to pluck a feather from the wing of a passing bird in order to use it as a quill to write her a love letter. But really, the beginning is the best, because in the first verse he uses a pickup line that I think only works in southern Italy, which is, "Oh, your name is Maria. It's such a beautiful name. It's the same name as the Virgin Mary." Only in southern Italy.
Maria ti chiami tu, c'è bello nome. Maria ti chiami tu, c'è bello nome. Stu nome della misura Madonna. Stu nome della misura Madonna. Bella dentro li belli tu bella sei. Bella dentro li belli tu bella sei. E dilli belli tu la palma puerti. E dilli belli tu la palma puerti. Faciteli a ballarsi due palumi, vuoi faciteli a ballarsi due palumi, soli palumi di Lupalumaru, soli palumi di Lupalumaru. Con te la tiro una pennati l'ali, con te la tiro una pennati l'ali, per scrivere la lettera all'uomo mio amori, per scrivere la lettera all'uomo mio amori. Come che fare bella cutti picchi, come che fare bella cutti picchi, picchietti una paletta e bevi fuego, picchietti una paletta e bevi fuego. Manangelli voglio più cantare, manangelli voglio più cantare, l'ulimongello pilu bene mio, l'ulimongello pilu bene mio.
Maria ti chiami tu c'è bello nome, Maria ti chiami tu c'è bello nome.
Stu nome della misura Madonna, stu nome della misura Madonna.
Bella dentro lì bella tu bella sei, bella dentro lì bella tu bella sei.
E dilli belli tu la palma puerti, e dilli belli tu la palma puerti.
E vuoi faceteli a ballarsi due palumi, vuoi faceteli a ballarsi due palumi.
Soli palumi di Lupalumaru, soli palumi di Lupalumaru.
ciaramella nonne, mangiate gambe dolce e bella nonne.
Thank you very much. I'm so glad you liked it. It's a little wild. It's the Pizzica dance, so it's a little wild. And we never play the same. So the next tune we'd like to share with you is called Bazaar, and we wrote it using a few traditional styles. One of them is actually the Pizzica style. And we were inspired by a day in a festival in Boston where lots of different people were coming together and they were playing different music from different countries and eating different foods, and you could smell the beautiful smell of different spices, and just it seemed like a beautifully perfect day, like, you know, some of these days to this couple of last days, very, very warm, very nice, and everybody seemed to get along perfectly. So we thought, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we could all always get along this way, like in a big bazaar?
So the next one we'd like to do for you is our version of a traditional, our setting of a traditional narrative chant. This again comes from Basilicata, which is a small province sort of in the center part of southern Italy. It's where Carmen's family is from. And this particular song comes from the area of Matera. You may have seen Matera in National Geographic. It has these fantastic cliffs that form the upper part of the city, and people made their homes in these cliffs, basically in caves in the cliffs for hundreds of years. It's a really striking place, and there's a really striking musical tradition that is very unique to Basilicata that's all its own there. So this chant comes from probably the late Middle Ages, although it's hard to date exactly, and it is a love story, an unrequited love story. And it's about a girl who, in the song, is simply called Froni d'Alia, which means olive branch. And like many girls in the late Middle Ages, she is not allowed to marry the boy she loves, a young poor man named Eugenie. Instead, her father wants her to marry a rich nobleman, Contemagge. And she goes along with it because she has to, and does in fact marry the count, but it has a little bit of a happier ending than a lot of these types of ballads, in that on her wedding night she manages to sneak away out the window, down the wall, and run away with her lover Eugenie, and ends up with him in the end. Yeah, so most of these stories, especially for those of you used to listening to Irish and Scottish ballads, it never works out in the end. Occasionally with the Italian ones it does, and this is one of those.
No.
And we also, so our arrangement of this, we also wanted to showcase the fact that it's very important. There's a lot, of course, in the news recently about immigrants coming from North Africa to Italy. This is not a new thing. This has been happening for hundreds of years. And Italian music, Southern Italian music, would not be what it is without North African immigrants and North African influence. And so we are paying homage to that by highlighting some particular North African influences in Southern Italian music, particularly with the frame drum, with this reed instrument, the ciaramella, and with the rick there, the tambourine, the North African tambourine. So we hope you enjoy the story of Froni d'Alia.
Froni d'Alia, attaccati lì troncame la vita. Sì, non so chi uzzita, 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 troncame la vita. Thank you so much.
And of course, I forgot to mention at the end of that, our most important Middle Eastern North African influence of all, Jussi Reijonen playing the oud. Wonderful stuff, huh?
We're continuing with another tarantella from Basilicata, which actually is going to be part of our new album that is going to come out this fall in October. And this tarantella was really, really, fragmented when we found it. It's, again, part of this collection that we were really very lucky to find. It was really only a woman playing with the tambourine and nothing else, and it was not making too much sense in a way. Not for the, maybe just at the beginning, but then the rest of the recording was a little bit fragmented and not so organized. So, but we had the lyrics, and we had the beginning part that was fantastically sung by this woman, and so from there we rebuilt the song, and it's called Tarantella Vernetella. Vernetella, it's a funny word, not probably with few meanings, and it depends how it gets used. Probably in general it means little ugly, but in this context here, it's referred to a woman that this man is in love with, actually a very young woman, and because she's very young, probably doesn't have yet the shape that he would like her to have, but he sees the potential, and so he says, okay, you're not, you're still young and maybe not yet ready, but I still love you. To my eyes, you look so beautiful. So this is a Tarantella Vernetella. Compare, come vi chiamate? Vogliamo sapere come vi chiamate? Mi chiamo Sanatore, where you live, where you lie. Mi chiamo Sanatore, che volita. Mi chiamo Sanatore, che volita. E vola, vola, e mena, mena. E vola, vola, e mena, mena. Si bagna in dall'umare, where you live, where you lie. Si bagna in dall'umare, ce ne bene, bene. Si bagna in dall'umare, ce ne bene, bene. Where li, where li, where lie. E lo cuore quando vede ti saluta se ne va. Volava Roma, giovani belle belle, volava Roma, giovani belle belle, non ce ne stanno più, e io lì, e io là, non ce ne stanno più, bella bella come Puglia, non ce ne stanno più, bella bella come Puglia, lì, a mi piace come sia, Tu pari con me vi chiamate, vogliate sapere con me vi chiamate. Mi chiamo Sannacore, way lì, way là. Mi chiamo Sannacore, che città. Mi chiamo Sannacore, che città. E vola vola, e mena mena. E vola vola, e mena mena. Si bagna tra il mare, way lì, way là. Si bagna tra il mare, poi se ne mena mena. Si bagna tra il mare, poi se ne mena mena. Lì, là. E il cuore quando viene mi saluti se ne va. Madonna quante irti stu palazzo, Madonna quante irti stu palazzo, anche lo sa la lupa per arrivare, anche lo sa la lupa per arrivare, se non l'arrivi come vaiata, se non l'arrivi come vaiata, chi la scaletta di nelle scalura, chi la scaletta di nelle scalura, quando arrivano vinza delle scale, quando arrivano vinza delle scale, porta i finestre stili pensierate, porta i finestre stili pensierate.
Quando viene di salute se ne va.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So we will play for you a tarantella in the style of the Calabrian tarantella. It's called Lo Iocu della Palomella, and the story of the song is pretty peculiar. It's a man who is leaving to go to the army, to enlist in the army, and he's really in love with this girl, and he just tells her, I'm sorry, I will have to leave, but I'm really in love with you. And she says, oh, well, I'm still young, I can wait. And then he goes, and he feels this sort of obsessive thought about her, like he can't think of anything else as he's, trying to get about what he's doing, and he's thinking, she really cast a spell on me, and she's casting a spell on me. A motive that's found a lot in the Italian themes, so that's the spell of the evil eye.
Even in 2018, the evil eye or the malocchio is serious business. I have living family in Calabria, and it's nothing to mess around with. Despite 2,000 years of Christianity, this is still not going away. The two pretty much coexist. So, important thing about Southern Italian culture.
And actually, we have particular instruments besides all the Middle Eastern ones, but we have this beautiful guitar. It's called chitarra battente. That's very difficult to tune, so it always takes a little longer. And it's traditional in Calabria, where the tarantella is from, and Campania. In some other parts of the South Italy, you can still find it in some styles. Hopefully, it will be ready soon.
Quando passo di qua, passo pulito, passo con passeggero ammodulato, passo con passeggero bello ammodulato. C'è una fregnola che mi va pazzetto ci disse che hai a fare lo soldato, ci disse che hai a fare bella lo soldato. Fattillo volentieri lo soldato, a sogno picciola posso aspettare, a sogno picciola posso aspettare. Profumo di anestra di corallo, mi fa lo yoga di la palombella, mi fa lo yoga bella di la palombella. Mi fa lo yoga di la palombella, e quando grande mi cordo codilla, e quando grande mi cordo codilla.
Tu foste una frignola, mi faceste simpatia, una monta di scarola, mi facesti la Maria.
Una monta di scarola mi faceste la Maria.
E lo manco come notti e la luna l'aiutia, prima faceste le cose storte e poi me le butta via.
Prima faceste le cose sordi e poi me le botte a me. Profumo di anestra di corallo, mi fa lo yoga di la palombella, mi fa lo yoga bella di la palombella. Profumo di anestra di corallo, mi fa lo yoga di la palombella, mi fa lo yoga bella di la palombella.
E tu foste una frignola, mi facesti simpatia, una monta di scarola, mi facesti la Maria.
Una monta di scarola mi faceste la Maria. E la fatto con canotti e la luna l'aiutia. Prima faceste le cose storti e poi me le buttami. E prima faceste le cose storti e poi me le buttami. E prima faceste le cose storti e poi me le buttami. E prima faceste le cose storti e poi me le buttami.
Fabio Pirozzolo on percussion and voice. Well, we also, as you heard before, we do write some stuff, but we try to use, the styles that we found in the south of Italy. And this next piece, it is a slow tarantella. So the bass is again the pizzica, but the words are written in a dialect actually from the village where my family is from, called Pignola. So it's called Pignolese. So all this music actually uses different dialects. So we were singing in a dialect from Calabria, and even in Basilicata. I don't know if you know about this, but like not only Basilicata, but all over Italy, we have millions of dialects, and they change drastically from town to town sometimes. And so it's really wonderful to keep them alive, even through songs and of course through talking.
Yeah, and this is, because I don't know, maybe some of you know it, but until 1861, Italy wasn't really a country. It wasn't really unified. So they had different city-states. And so, everyone was really speaking what they knew, how to speak. And then later on, they sort of decided and codified what would the Italian language be. So we sing in different dialects from the south of Italy specifically.
Mi sto cresciuto in mezzo agli strani Carmen, Marsico, Angela Rossi, voice. Thank you. And we got to the end, unfortunately. And we're so happy. We were so excited to come here today and to perform here for the Library of Congress. And we can't believe that this is going to be recorded and archived in your beautiful library, and it's really.
We feel really honored.
Yes,
We really
yes.
do. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you. Thank you.
having us.
So this is the last piece. It's again a pizzica, but this is a pizzica that has been, a family called Ucci made it really famous. It's really a collection of different verses, and it's more like, it's almost that every cantor, every singer improvises and kind of trying to follow the logic of what the person said before, and then sometimes they even change the topic and goes to somewhere else. So we organize in a certain way to make sense, and it's about kind of again love and what the consequences are sometimes. When you are sad, what happened? When you're happy, what how you feel,
And also, I would say there's the dance element in the song, so it just sort of tells people, come on, get up and dance. The tarantella hasn't died yet.
Yeah.
So the spider hasn't died yet.
So you still have to dance to
You
get
have
rid
to-
of it.
Yes, smoosh it.
So we'd like to introduce all the musicians here with us tonight. Actually, this afternoon, not tonight. Not yet. Okay, Dan Meyers on a lot of instruments, and the one that is holding now, it's the zampogna, bagpipe, and recorders and other percussion.
And Carmen Burciaga on violin and frame drum.
And Jeff McAuliffe on bass and clapping and sometimes singing.
And our Fabio Pirozzolo, the heart here, a pounding heart, the tambourines and the voice.
Björn Wennås on chitarra battente, sometimes mandola, sometimes chitarra classica.
And Jussi Reijonen on oud and mandola and chitarra classica. Thank you so much. Dici che non me voglio non tu bella, Anna tua amante li pari una stella. Anna tua amante li pari una stella. Cada dudare non va su senza fuoco. Utelluteri per ricordo mio. Utelluteri per ricordo mio. Dammi la mia cammella in promesso. Casi non mi fai morire disperato. Casi non mi fai morire disperato.
E a giovane l'amore che ci capisce, e a giovane l'amore che ci capisce, che sente la voce mia, che sente la voce mia, sente la voce mia, la riconosce, la riconosce, la riconosce, che sente la voce mia, la riconosce. Ecco ma ti pare che Puglia te nato, ecco ma ti pare che Puglia te nato, via della valetta, via della valetta, via della valetta, va il popolo, ma va
lo tamburetto mio venne da Roma, mannaggia cielo gana, mannaggia cielo gana, mannaggia cielo gana, cielo suona, cielo suona, cielo suona, mannaggia cielo gana, cielo suona, lo tamburetto mio te non c'è, lo tamburetto mio te non c'è, mannaggia cielo gana, mannaggia cielo gana, mannaggia cielo gana, cielo via, cielo via, cielo via, mannaggia cielo gana, cielo via. Cielo gana, mannaggia cielo gana, cielo dozza, cielo dozza, cielo dozza, mannaggia cielo gana, cielo dozza, bella sciamara vai maresce vegno, bella sciamara vai maresce vegno, cace vescio cace mini, cace vescio cace mini, c'è vescio cace mini e me ne torno, io me ne torno, cace vescio cace mini e me ne torno. Tutte le carosette, tutte le carosette, facci ballare, facci ballare, facci ballare, tutte le carosette, facci ballare, lo tamburetto mio venne da Roma, lo tamburetto mio venne da Roma, e mannaggia cielo canta, mannaggia cielo canta, mannaggia cielo canta, e cielo suona, e cielo suona, e cielo suona, e mannaggia cielo canta, e cielo suona.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Newpoli.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.